Hello, fellow Nigerians. I want to this moment welcome you once again to our channel, the Info Nexus. Like I always say before I begin, this is a channel that will begin to, so that will continue to give you all the information all you need to know as we run up to the 2023-2027 general elections, and to also educate you what you need to know about the situation going on in Nigeria. What I want to talk about today is what has been going on for the past week now, or a few days in Nigeria, which has to do with the issue between the Minister of FCT, that is Wike, and the young military officer. And since when this incident happened, have been saying some commentators argument as to why. Some are saying that the young military man is brave to stand up to Wike and to counter Wike's rudeness. I call it rudeness, or the kind of nuisance Wike's constitute to the so-called government at the moment. I think I would like to say that Mr. Wike has become so drunk with power to the extent that he thinks he owns the Federal Capital Territory. In fact, he thinks he owns Nigeria, that he can behave the way he likes. He can talk to anybody the way he likes. Like he can revoke land. In fact, he calls himself now the landlord of Abuja. So therefore, he thinks he has the power to revoke land, even illegally, in any way he deems fit. Now, I want to say that while I commend the effort, the courage of the young military officer who stood his ground and, refused Wike to intimidate him, I will also say that whatever the military are getting from Wike at the moment, whatever treatment or the insult the military got from Wike on that particular occasion, they deserve it. Don't get me wrong, just wait, let me finish. Watch this video to the end. I will tell you why I say that they deserve it. Like I said, I salute the courage of the young military officer who stood his ground and refused Wike to intimidate him. You see, one thing we need to see in this whole issue is that we need to see this issue apart from, personal confrontation. We need to see this issue from a political perspective and also the economic perspective. Now, let's discuss the political perspective. I want to begin by saying that if the government in power were to have respect for the rule of law, if the government in power were to be the government that was democratically elected to office, that ugly situation you see between the FCT minister, Wike, and the young military officer ought not to even happen in the first place. What I mean is this: if the country was to be operating with rule of law, or the government in place was to have respect for the rule of law, what happened between the FCT minister and the young military officer would have even happened in the first place. Now, let me explain. You see, this is why I say that the military are also part of the blame. Whatever nuisance or whatever Wike is taking himself to be at the moment in Nigeria. You see, in recent past, Wike has been said colluding with these same military people. The same military, people has been in the past has colluded with Wike to manipulate elections. In fact, all the elections that brought Wike into office, military were used and the police to manipulate those elections to bring him to power. In fact, the last election, you all saw in the last election how Wike used military and the police to truncate the will of the people. In fact, there are evidence that the last election, that is 2023 general election, was won by Obi. Obi win the last 2023 general election in River State. There are evidence documented by so many. I mean, by so not controversial, not. I mean, propaganda media house, the real media house, and observers, international observers, they saw it. How Wike used the military might to truncate the wish of the people. How Wike has used military in the past to rig election. How he has bought them with money to rig election. This is why you see Wike was talking to the military the way he wants, because he sees the military as just as corrupt as he is. This is why you see Wike has no respect for the military. This is why you see what happened on that day. The ugly situation. This is why you see that ugly situation took place. Because Wike was looking at that uniform, looking at that person uniform. That after all, these are the people I buy with money to the election. These are the people I use to rig election, so I can talk to them anyhow. I can behave to them, and I can insult them anyhow. And we have also got information that that land was allocated to the military personnel. And Wike, because he's drunk with power, he feels he's not the landlord of Abuja, because he has revoked so many land like that, which he has allocated to his cronies, to himself, to his sons. Now he thinks he can just do away with this military personnel just like that. This land was allocated to the military personnel. Now Wike, according to what we learned, Wike revoked that land in a lawless way. He thinks he can revoke any land he feels like, so that he can reallocate that land to his cronies or to himself. You see, even if the story we hear is not correct, I will also believe that Wike was not trying to reclaim that land just for the use of the Federal Capital Territory. No, he was trying to reclaim that land if he had not really, already allocated to his cronies, according to what we've heard. He was trying to reclaim that land so that he can allocate the land to himself or to his cronies. That was why he was fighting for it. I heard him saying in that video, when they were having that fight, that he cannot condone impunity. Imagine Wike says he cannot condone impunity. Wike that's supposed to be named impunity. Wike that is lawless. Wike that does not have respect for the rule of law. He's talking of immunity. Imagine that. Wike that has no regard for the rule of law. He doesn't respect court orders. He doesn't respect judges. He doesn't respect any institution. He's talking of rule of law. The government you are even serving, Mr. Wike, has no regard for law in Nigeria. They have disrespect for the rule of law. Even you talk, saying that you cannot, you cannot condone impunity. You have no respect for the rule of law. You display impunity at your disposal. To look at what is coming out of your mouth, that you cannot condone impunity. You that is impunity personified. Wike that has impunity all over him. He's saying that he cannot condone impunity. Imagine that. I am bringing this video to let Nigeria know that this is what we begin to condone and we begin to see, after 2027 now. You have been seeing this is where this government came in, that they have no respect for the rule of law, that they treat people anyhow. Even before this, we have got information that Wike have revoked so many lands. And he allocated those land to his cronies or to himself or to his sons, to his children, Now he thinks he can just, kick the military out of that land. This is why he came with bulldozer and his police. Did you see the confrontation that happened between the policemen, the soldiers and the DSS? Nerves were high. Tensions were high. These guys were carrying guns, confronting each other. Imagine, the confrontation in that moment would have led to anything disastrous. Maybe leading to them shooting each other, Now, a supposed government officials, a supposed minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria caused that ugly situation that military men and the police that are supposed to protect ordinary Nigerians, they're supposed to protect defend the country, Nigeria, they were confronting themselves with the guns. Imagine what would have happened. Maybe with lithium spark. One of them would have tried. And they would begin to gun each other down. An action caused by a supposed minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. A shameful act, a disgraceful act, an act that's supposed to be, condemned, which shall be condemned. But I know nothing will happen to Wike. I heard some people say that Tinubu should sack Tinubu supposed to sack Wike. Sack Wike how? I don't know you. I don't know. Some of you don't understand the chemistry between Wike and Tinubu. Did you see what Wike? Did for Tinubu during 2023 election? Did you see how he used all his might, even including the soldiers, used them to truncate the wish of the people so that Tinubu will win the election, manipulate the election to Tinubu's favor? Apart from that, didn't you see what happened in the Supreme Court? Didn't you know? Most of you don't know that Wike was, was the one that orchestrated that, designed everything in the Supreme Court, that told those judges what to do. Even the bribe that was involved, Wike was part of this. Wike made sure he did his work to make sure everything worked to Tinubu's favor. Right from rigging the election in Rivers State to controlling the judges that sat in presidential election tribunal case. So you want Tinubu to throw him away like that? So this is why you see Tinubu, Wike, doing whatever he's doing, because he knows that whatever anything he does, Tinubu is not going to kick him out. Tinubu is not going to frown at him because they know what they have in common. The moment Tinubu remove Wike from office, Tinubu is plotting his downfall. Mark my lips. This is why you see Wike behave lawlessly, do whatever I want to do. Let me even draw your attention to what happened in Rivers State. Everything that happens in Rivers State was orchestrated by Wike. And whatever I ask Tinubu to do, Tinubu does. All those emergency rules or whatever you see happens in Rivers State was at the request of Wike, and Tinubu must do it. And if he refuses to do it, then we'll see what will happen to Tinubu. So if I hear so many of you say Tinubu should sack Wike, Tinubu cannot sack Wike. It's impossible. Read my lips. Because they know what they have in common. They know the agreement they had. This is why you see Tinubu, Wike display impunity, display lawlessness, talk to anybody the way he wants, and goes free. So if some of you are thinking that Tinubu is going to ask Wike to go, you might wait till that kid come. You are just wasting your energy and your time. If you think Tinubu is going to sack Wike, that will never happen. I am telling you for free, that will never happen. So this is to show you the kind of society, the kind of situation. The thing is that most Nigerians don't even understand the kind of what they are into at the moment. You don't even know the people they are dealing with. They don't know. I can see there are so many people now, they have turned, most everybody in Nigeria has turned to a writer, writing in their blog, writing in their social media page, why the military officer was so brief, why Wike is this, why Wike is that. I think what you should be thinking of is how we should come together to kick out this criminality called government. That's what we should be thinking of, because we know even if you write an episode from now till next year, Tinubu will not remove Wike. Wike will continue to display this impunity and lawlessness all over the place. Nothing will happen to him. Nobody will challenge him. I have just told you why Tinubu will be afraid. He's afraid to remove Wike or to challenge Wike or to call Wike to order. This is just one of the many that Wike has done since he was appointed the minister of FCT. He has done so many lawlessness. I mean, stuff that regards to as a lawlessness in the country. Did you see? I mean, Tinubu reprimand him, or Tinubu even call him to order? No. I just told you now that what happened in Rivers State, those drama, those scenarios that took place in Rivers, those emergency room and whatever, all this was orchestrated by Wike and given to Tinubu to execute. And that's exactly what Tinubu did. And now you're asking the same Tinubu to sack Wike. It's just that most of you are so you don't even know you have eyes you cannot see, you have brains you cannot reason. You don't even know what's going around you in that same country, Nigeria. And sometimes some of you will come to your social media, begin to say the government should deal with insecurity in Nigeria. The same insecurity that are being sponsored by the same government, that are being sponsored by the same people in the government, the same people that have served, that are formerly served in the government, that the same government knew that, are sponsoring the insecurity in Nigeria. That is a talk for another day that we're going to discuss. Today I'm talking about the confrontation between the Minister of FCT and the young military officer. So what I'm saying is this. The blame also is to the military, whom have in the past contributed to this impunity in Nigeria, the lawlessness. In fact, one of the most corrupt institutions today in Nigeria is the military. You see all of the, army chiefs and whatever, they walk with sticks. All of them, they have a pot belly. They are big men because they are feeding fat from the insecurity in Nigeria. They contributed to electoral rigging in Nigeria, bringing into power lawless government, a government that has no respect for rule of law. And in returns, such government brought in a person, individual like Wike, who has no regard for uniform, who has no regard for any institution. Because had the people were given the opportunity to elect their leader democratically, had the people's wish not truncated, a proper government would have been in place. And if a proper government is in place, people like Wike will not even go near any government house, let alone appoint him as a minister. Because if you were to be a responsible minister, assuming that land was allocated, maybe wrongly, or even Wike want to revoke that land, they would have called the military into a meeting and tell them, okay, we want to revoke your land. This is why we need to revoke your land. We understand that this land was not properly given to you. Or even if it's properly given to you, this is government property. We need to reclaim the land. Then they will have a meeting, they will iron their gray areas out. And we say, okay, let's look for another area, a good area we can allocate to you guys, while we reclaim that land back to the government. If it was a proper government in power and a proper, individual as the FCT minister. But because Wike is drunk with power, because the government is represented is lawless and he himself has impunity all over him, he thinks he can display lawlessness, which is also a result I have said is what the military has caused. They are part of the mess. I know some of you will come here and say, no, this young man has nothing to do with it. Yes, he has nothing to do with it, but it is the institution the young man represents. If the institution have acted well, they play their part, the role they're supposed to play, neutral part in the elections, and allow a democratically elected government to come in and they protect the vote of the people, defend the people to make sure their vote is not truncated. Maybe, just maybe, a good leader will be in office and their institution will not be degraded or, looked down upon by people like Wike. This is what I'm saying. This is the angle I'm looking at it from. Not on a personal confrontation between the military and the FCT minister. So, I am letting you guys in Nigeria know that this is the state that your country has degenerated to. And this has continued to be till 2027. And if all of us refuse to play our role, this is what we continue to get until it gets to each and every one of us. Now he has got into the military by the so-called military, through the so-called FCT minister. He has told the military, military that they are nobody, that they can disrespect the institution and nothing happen, and exactly nothing will happen to him. Like I just said, Tinubu cannot call him to order. Tinubu cannot sack him. Tinubu cannot do anything to Wike. If you sit there and begin to think Tinubu will remove Wike, you are just daydreaming. You are daydreaming. Read my lips. So I am bringing this video to let each and every one of us know that we have a role to play in this coming 2027 general election. We need to do our part so that we can get rid of this impunity, this lawlessness in our country. Like I said, as the election draws very closer, I will begin to bring you some strategies, some videos on what we need to do, on how we are going to defend our vote. That is the only way to go, to vote and defend our vote. Like I said, I'll be on ground in my polling unit. I'll be there where we work on our polling units and polling units around our areas on how we are going to support them to vote and defend our vote. So if you are watching my video right now, this should be what should concern you. Begin to plan on how you are going to vote on your locality, mobilize people on the resources you are going, how you are going to use whatever resources you've got to mobilize people for them to vote and defend your vote. And most importantly, we are going to defend ourselves. It's very, very important, because the military have failed us, the police have failed us. So we are going to defend ourselves and defend our vote. That is the way to go. You've seen what the country has turned to. A lawless country, a country with impunity, a country that a minister thinks is not the Lord. He can do whatever he likes. This is what we want to kick that in 2027. So if you want to be part of this project, subscribe to our channel as we begin to get more of our videos, what we need to do as the election draws very closer. Once again, thank you for watching this video, and more will come your way. God bless you. Thank you. Bye-bye.